All right, so we're back at it again. Another episode of the BeBall Jones podcast with my boy Nelson Haskins. What's going on, Nelson?
What's going on, man? How you been?
Been all right, man. Been all right, man. So, as you know, man, it's March. March Madness, man. It's
Yes, sir.
springtime. 2021. What's crazy is this technically a historic mark for us. It's been a whole year in this pandemic, man. You know,
Yeah,
it's about a year. It's about a full year now, man.
yeah,
Um,
it is.
so just looking back over it, man, like where it started, at least for me, my perspective, when it started was like the whole Rudy Gobert thing with the Jazz, that whole incident. And it's like after that, it was just a huge downpouring of like quarantine and everybody having to lock down and stuff. So it's like nobody saw that coming and how it would change the landscape. But like, what do you remember from like that whole deal a year ago?
Um, so a year ago, I remember. Yeah, I feel like most hoopers, especially, really probably athletes in general, but I feel like most hoopers, especially when the Rudy Gobert thing happened, the NBA started shutting down games. That's when it kind of got real for us. Like,
Yeah,
oh, okay, the NBA shutting down. It must be serious because you remember at first everybody was kind of like, I don't know how serious it is. So a couple people getting sick, whatever. But so like in the beginning, we was like, we probably just, we probably shut down for a little while,
yeah,
and then we'll get back at it, 2 weeks from now. You know.
yeah,
But then the Rudy Gobert thing happens, he touching the microphones and all that. Then come to find out, he tested positive for the virus, and then Donovan Mitchell tested positive for the virus and stuff like that. And then like the whole world just stopped. Everything stopped moving.
yeah.
And we was in the house. So I think that's when it got real for us, especially like guys like us that are like follow basketball and hoop and things like that.
Yeah.
It's like that's when it shut down, man. It was over with.
Yeah, and it's just kind of weird overall because it's like nobody knew what to expect. Like this is a very brand new thing to everybody, no matter what. And it's like everywhere, all over social media, it's just like nobody knew what to expect. You see some one person saying one thing, somebody else saying another thing, and like even doctors didn't know what to do. Like they were contradicting each other, making it seem like oh, I'm the expert here, and this is what's gonna happen. This is what we should do. No, I'm the expert, and this is what we should do. And it's like at that point, I was done. Like, I'm just wait out for a minute and see what's gonna happen
Right.
because
It's like I don't know. So y'all arguing. I'm gonna let y'all figure that out.
and like we supposed to lean on y'all, but y'all don't even know. So at that point, I was just like, wow, like this is wild. Like I have no clue what to expect right now because it's like you trying to lean on a doctor, a knee specialist about what's going on with your knee. You go another knee specialist saying it's the opposite thing. It's like, okay, now, like I don't know what to do now. So it's like having
What
a
am I supposed to
professional,
think?
exactly. So having the professionals at that level talk about the whole COVID situation like that was just like pretty much left everybody dumbfounded. And so, like you said, we had the whole deal with Rudy Gobert, and from our view of it, it's like that's the beginning of the whole lockdown and stuff, man. But so it happened in March, at April, May, June. When it start back up, like July?
The NBA.
Yeah,
The bubble started in I want to say started in June, and then finished in like August.
and that's crazy to think about. So it's like right around the time when we used to it finishing, it's starting back up for us.
Right, because the
So
finals are in June. And
exactly. So you
they restarting the season in the finals time.
exactly. So you have like it usually goes no deeper in like the second week of June, maybe.
Right.
And that's about the time when it started back up with the whole bubble. So they had what a month of like a regular season play or the play in stuff.
Right.
And they got right into the playoffs and everything. And it's like that was a really interesting thing. But at the same time, I'm trying to keep it in order. But during that time too, we had a lot of social issues with Black Lives Matter, come back front page again. And to keep it not too political, but within the realm of what we're talking about, you had a lot of athletes and everything speaking up a little bit more, the protests and everything going on with athletes. And I feel like that was a real interesting time too, and how everybody's perspective on that was played out. Because you had one side of it saying um, they should use that platform to, like you're front and center right now, because everybody's at home. We're not doing anything for real, for real. So it's like that's a perfect platform, perfect chance to use to highlight our issues and everything. You got the other side saying, well, no, because that's a distraction from the issues that they have, and all they're doing is just using it as entertainment and escape from the life. You know what I mean? And I just kind of want to see what your thoughts on that were. Like, how did you feel when it came to that thought?
I thought that the what the players did was definitely kind of needed. I think their voice and their platform, especially guys like LeBron James and Shaquille O'Neal, Dwayne Wade, guys that we just know that are like household names.
Mhm.
Those are the guys who we need to speak out on such things, because not only will, like, a lot of people say like, oh, you just got to stick to your sport and leave politics out of it, but what they don't realize is if all of us did that, then none of us would ever address the real problems when they happen.
Yeah,
So like if someone was to tell me to stick to being in school rather than uh speaking out on political issues or social injustice, a lot of problems would never get solved. Because if we just turn a blind eye to those things, then they'll just continue to happen.
yeah,
So I think what the players did was definitely needed. And then we got to see players, we got to see pictures of players out protesting like Russell Westbrook and Jaylen Brown, Kyrie Irving. We saw those guys out there amongst the people, like protesting. And
yeah,
I think people underestimate seeing familiar faces, famous familiar faces, protesting with normal, everyday people, just protesting. We all protesting for the same thing, working towards the same goal. People underestimate the power of that, because if I'm a fan of Kyrie Irving or Russell Westbrook and I see them, then they inadvertently have give me, not only do they shed light on the situation for me, they have also given me the feeling like, okay, I also need to be helping. I mean, this is my favorite player, and this is a serious issue. And if it's so serious that even he, as a basketball player who didn't have to do this, because obviously all these players, they make money, they do well, they got their own families, their own lives, they don't have to do none of this. Like, they could just be cool about it, stay in their house and protect themselves, and act like nothing going on, and nobody would
yeah,
judge them for that, because that's their right. But they choose to put that to the side to stand up for something bigger than themselves. So that lets me know, as a regular everyday person who isn't famous or who isn't rich, I can also make a difference by being out there. So I think what the players did was definitely necessary.
yeah. I feel that. Like at first, like the whole, I don't say the whole face of, but like the main person that became like the poster child of not doing it was Kyrie. Like he was saying, he was on that side of like it's basically a distraction from the real issues. You know what I mean? Like I get he like completely understood where everybody was coming from with that, and it's like yes, we should do something, but I feel like this is going to be more of a show rather than us actually doing something to bring change. I feel like it would have been more effective for everybody just to like basically protest the NBA and say, no, we're not coming back, and then really get some change, get some things done.
Mm.
And I feel like that's kind of the side I was pushing to initially, to where it's like most people are telling you shut up and dribble. And so by you coming back and playing, you're satisfying that person. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I get to see basketball again. That's all I care about. I don't care about your political issues. I don't care about your personal issues. I don't care about none of this stuff. I just want to see you play basketball. And I felt like by going back out there, you're giving that type of people, that type of person, you're giving them what they want. But as it, I wasn't completely opposed to playing, but I just wanted to have understanding of like what the plan was going to be. And as they, start talking about a little bit more, and as you started, the first couple games and everything, I was like, okay, like they made it to where it's unavoidable. Like throughout this whole bubble, like pretty much every other commercial was talking about something with it, all over the court, all over the floor, like all over. Anything you saw had something to deal with the political civil rights issue, you know. And I feel like that made it, well, I felt a little more comfortable with it. And we hit a pocket within it, at least me personally, we hit a pocket within it where it felt like the political issues slowed down and the basketball became the forefront. But as soon as that happened, it's like, I promise, like a week later, maybe a whole nother incident happened. And that's when you had, yeah, that's when you had the Bucks players sit out that game.
Right.
Like as soon as that happened, boom, we got a reminder of like why they're here. And that's when you had LeBron speak out and say, yo, I don't feel comfortable right now because we over here in this bubble and we still have issues going on. And that's when we actually got changes done to where they had the they had something changed to polling places and just basically the arenas being opened up to more political sites and everything as far as voting and stuff. And that was a real interesting time too, man, because I felt like it's been shut back down again. Because I didn't feel like the people who had the power to make a change were gonna let things happen. It's gonna be, all right, that's cute or whatever, but I'm not gonna do these things that y'all want. But they end up changing some things and getting some things done, which I felt like was very important and needed. But I feel like overall the NBA bubble, as far as that whole end of it, was a very impactful thing. And I feel like that's gonna be, or was, a thing that we needed overall. Like it was a historic moment and it opened the door for a lot of things to happen. For like you said, like you got your favorite player, your favorite team that's coming out here and protesting. Like my favorite player is Kyrie, and I see what he's doing, taking a stance against all this. I'm gonna follow Kyrie's lead. If I see LeBron speaking out, like everything LeBron's been doing has been empowering the athlete. And now he's empowering Black people too. Oh, okay, I'm following that lead too. I feel like that was a very needed moment for not just basketball and everything, but us as a people. Feel me? So that kind of was a very huge thing that happened in the bubble.
And I think what I was kind of like you, I was like, man, I don't know if they should play. When they were discussing it, I was like, they might not play, and if they don't, I can't be mad because I think everybody, obviously, we basketball fans, we all wanted to come back, but when they were talking about it, it was like, I don't know if we should come back at this time. There's too much going on. I kind of felt that, but Matt Barnes said something that I agree with. He said, I understand why they would not want to come back, but them doing what they were doing, like protesting and saying the things they were saying, it means a lot more with them standing in front of that NBA logo, like post game conferences and pre-game interviews, post game interviews, all of that. All that media attention that they get playing is way greater than the media attention they would get separately. So if there was just no basketball on, they just was out doing their thing. Yes, it's still known, but it's only known because of their platform. But when they play, it's on the NBA's platform, which is bigger than the sum of its parts. You know what I'm saying? So them being there, being in front of the NBA logo, gives them a little more power because now what they say ends up on SportsCenter, what they say ends up on Bleacher Report, what they say ends up on Overtime, stuff like that, and then it becomes a little more unavoidable. Yeah. And so I kind of agree with that. And so when he said that, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes more sense. They do have more power being here playing, because if they were just on their own, a lot of people would not know what was going on. Like if you didn't have them on social media and stuff like that, we wouldn't know the work they were doing a lot of times. But when they play and I watch them play, I see that. I know that now. Like I can't avoid it.
Yeah, I remember that when he said that, and just like you, that changed my perspective on it. And then another thing that happened was it gave certain players that platform that they wanted. Like you said, if I don't follow Jaylen Brown, for instance, the average fan might know who he is, but not really know him like that. Like Jaylen Brown's a very smart dude. Like the dude went to Cal. Like Cal's not an easy school to get in, and he got in for academics too. Like very smart dude, brilliant. And like people don't know that mentally he's there. Like he's able to talk that level of talk when it comes to politics. And giving somebody like a George Hill a spotlight, like the average fan, average player that most fans wouldn't know, they don't know how smart they are when it comes to politics. They don't know that these guys, like you said, it's more to these people than just basketball. And so outside of LeBron, Luka, Giannis, Dame, you know what I mean, the household names, the role player that isn't as known won't have the same platform. But because I'm so busy with my personal life being the superstar of the team, I might not be the most informed just because that's not where I come from. But because I'm a role player and I do understand more, I'm able to speak out because I have this platform. I feel like that's the most powerful thing that happened with that too. So you have somebody who doesn't fully understand, but I have the microphone in my face versus who does fully understand and don't have the microphone in the face. And it's like, now maybe I'm over here to partner with you to where we have this platform together and I'm over here with your face. I got the NBA logo, I got LeBron on my other side, and now we got the information behind it. I feel like that was the most powerful thing behind all of that, which led to some things that you saw happen. So like I think that was a dope thing to happen. And I feel like that was a needed time, man. So anything else you want to say on that?
Oh, that's about it for me right there.
All right, so let's get to the actual basketball, man. Like the NBA bubble, man. That was for me personally, that was some fun basketball to watch.
Hey, bubble basketball was crazy. Like,
Like that was
remember TJ Warren?
oh, he went stupid.
Like
He
the
went stupid.
back-to-back 40s and 50s. I was like, now I ain't gonna lie, when TJ Warren started going crazy, that's when I started getting skeptical. I was like, the bubble, it must really it must be a lot easier in the bubble. Like it's gotta be. And people were saying, oh, it's easier because the gym is smaller, the depth perception and all that, yada yada, it makes it easier to shoot. And I was like, that might be true, but to this extent, to where he could just go off of 40, a guy averaging, not even averaging 20 points a game at the time, to have multiple 40-point games, that's the difference of being in the NBA arena and the bubble.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. I just don't know. Like, I really want, part of me want to be in the arena so I can see what it actually feels like. Because it was just so many like crazy performances. TJ Warren, Devin Booker. We had
Yep.
Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray go at it. I was like, bro, what is happening? Like, I don't know, bro. It was crazy. What did you think about it though?
So I feel like part of me was a little upset. The only thing I would say I was upset about was that certain people weren't allowed to get in the bubble that I wanted to see get off. Because that's a whole different environment. So like you were saying, like I saw a couple people like former players talking about how it was an AAU field slash just hooping in the open court type vibe. Like there are no fans. You ain't got nobody yelling at you. And it's a whole different vibe. Because think about it, you coming from like college ball, like you coming from class or whatever, and you going hoop in the gym.
Straight to the gym.
So you leaving your hotel room, go straight to the gym and hoop. As soon as you get done, what you doing? Back to your room again.
And that's it. And they weren't allowed to go nowhere. They had like a players' lounge, they said, but other than that, they couldn't go nowhere, couldn't leave the campus, couldn't do nothing.
Yep.
Just like college almost. I mean, but in college, obviously you could leave, but if you was not able to leave your college campus, it'd be the same thing.
Yeah. So it's like that AU vibe comes in right there. And so with that, I would like to have seen certain people in a bubble, just like Devin Booker. He went stupid in that environment. I would like to have seen Trae Young get off in there. Tell him what he would have did.
Oh yeah, true.
So it's like certain plays I wish we could have saw in a bubble just for like, part of it was like again the respect type of thing, but part of it just the fun of seeing them get off like that. But let's target specifically on how the crowd kind of affected everything. Like you kind of touched on it with TJ Warren getting off, and I feel like there's a good and a bad to not having a fan. So you got certain players who like don't get up when a fan, like somebody talks crazy to you. Some players shut down, just like, dang, bro, why you gotta talk about me? Like, I'm just trying to
Yeah,
play
he kind of
basketball.
got out the element.
Exactly. Then you got other people who like I remember seeing this clip last week, I think of D Wade when he was in Utah, I think. Some fan talking crazy to him. Like, this was when Wade was still hooping, like
Mm.
prime, not prime Wade, but like around the LeBron era. He was still hooping. Fan
Right.
talking crazy to him. He went off like the last 2 minutes went stupid, going back and forth with the fan. You can't have that during the bubble. You missed that.
You can't.
You
And then
gotta
some
rely.
guys do better. Like,
Exactly. So it's like you got somebody talking crazy to you. Why are you talking to me? Like I'm LeBron James. All right, chill out. Give me the ball. Then somebody's gonna drop 30 minutes. 30 points in 2 minutes. Something stupid like that happens. Then you got the other player who's like, sheesh, all this adrenaline rushing, like it's too much for me right now. And it's like, bang, he's done. Instead of him averaging 20, he only averaging 10 because he can't function like
pressure
that.
get to him.
The pressure gets to him. So it's like you got, I think D Wade said that he's like certain people can't handle that. And so without not being there, you see a TJ Warren getting off of 40 back to back because that's just hooping to him. It's literally going back to AAU or open gym type vibe. And it's like at the same time, I forgot who said it, but there's like expect to see AAU type vibes as far as no defense. Cause like you just got from a huge 4-month layoff, 5-month layoff. I don't remember how many
Right.
months. Because you had
It was
too
like
many
3, 4
months off.
months.
Yeah, so let's say 3-4 months of a layoff. I'm not gonna try to play defense and get my hamstring strain and all this other stuff. I'm playing good enough defense to where it look like I'm playing defense at least. But if you got
I make it a little tough on you.
yeah, but if you got a bucket, okay, I think we'll get a bucket on the other end. That's
Right.
basically how the mindset was. Because in AAU, most teams ain't playing defense like that for real, for real. You
Right.
trying to show off the Kyrie package, break somebody's ankles, splash him in the face like Dame or Steph. You trying to have the nice little lay or a dunk. It's an all-star game with better defense, basically.
But when the playoffs started, like when they started the playoffs, that was like it got real, and guys was trying to guard, and
Oh
guys
yeah.
was scoring on that. It did not matter. And I'm a big believer in like the AAU vibes help the younger teams. I really believe that. So like the teams like look who's going off in the bubble. We had guys like Jamal Murray, he's on like 23, 24. Um, guys like Donovan Mitchell, who like 23, 24. Guys like Tyler Hero, who like 22, 20, no, he like 21.
Yeah,
Then we
21,
had Duncan
22.
Robinson, and he like 21, 22.
Mm-hmm.
Like young players were doing well in the bubble. It was because that's kind of the vibes that they've been had. You know, they
Yeah.
used to the AAU vibes. They used to they just fresh out of college almost for a couple years. So like this kind of like familiar to them. But
Yep.
the older guys, like older teams, like you didn't see LeBron go off for 40 in the bubble. You didn't see Kawhi go off for 40 in the bubble or PG. You see
Yeah.
actually the Clippers, how they imploded in the bubble, lets you know that the veteran teams, this was not them.
Yeah.
Because they've been in the leagues 8, 9 years. They used to the pressure. They used to the playoffs with the fans talking crazy. They used to the added element of people being in the gym and the pressure of playing and stuff like that. And then now it's like it's relaxed in here. Like
Yeah.
everything is like it. A lot of them couldn't vibe with that, you know. And a lot of basketball is mostly about rhythm. Like I
Yep.
got to get in
Yep.
my rhythm. And so if the element of the game is off to me, it's hard to get in that rhythm. And that's when you see guys like PG go whatever he was in the fourth quarter, like 2 for 14 or whatever for the game in game 7. And Kawhi Leonard do the same thing. And that's when you see the veteran guys could not keep it going because this is just not the element they play in. And so the young guys who only been in the league 3, 4 years, they like, oh man, this is like AAU, and
Yeah.
they ready to play. And so we got to really see that on full display. Like the guys who were comfortable in the bubble, you saw it.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing to them. And then the guys that's used to being in arenas with fans and all this extra attention and stuff like that, they couldn't really do it.
And I
And then
think part of it,
Vet's bad about off the court habits too. Like I like to go eat this meal before this game. I like to go
yeah,
see my mama. I go to so and so house. I do this. I do that before games. Now it's like I'm sitting in the room, and then I'm gonna go see the trainer,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna try to hoop. Like that's
Yeah.
it. Like that's your routine. So that I think the older guys in the league, if you've been in the league more than 5 years, I think it was kind of a hindrance to you in that way for a lot of guys. But the young guys, they're like, we just wake up and hoop. All right,
Yeah.
say no more.
I think that was like a huge thing too, because like you said, you ain't see no vets really getting off for real. I think part of that was them feeling like it's basically a preseason for me. Like you already solidified in the playoffs, you know your spot is. Even if you drop a spot or two, it's not that deep because who cares? I'm hooping in the
You
same
just
place.
playing for seeding right now.
Exactly. So it's like depending on the team you have and the matches you have, I mean matches are everything in the playoffs. But at the same time, it's like some teams were fighting for the home court advantage, but there is no such thing as home court advantage now. So it's like
right. That threw a lot of people off too. I
that's a
think. Like,
huge
well,
thing.
not threw a lot of people off, but it was a advantage for everybody.
Yeah, so it's like you got those, like you said, the younger teams, younger players. It's like, oh snap, we have to go play where? Oh, we gotta play Staples Center. Oh, you got Halle Berry right there, Denzel right there. You got Michael B. Jordan right there. Oh snap! You got what's her name? What's the chick name? I can't remember her name
Rihanna.
right now. No. The chick who got hated on for months because she was being extra. What's her
Yeah,
name? I can't
that
remember
could
her
be a lot of
name.
people.
I can't remember her name right now, man. She a rapper or something like that. But you got all the celebrities and stuff on the sidelines, just like
Lizzo. You was thinking
yeah,
about
her,
Lizzo.
her. So you got all this extra celebrity and stuff on the sideline, like, oh, I was listening to you before the game and you right here. Oh snap! I just watched you in the movie and you sitting right here watching me hoop. Like that's a whole other feeling to have. Like, so that pressure wasn't there to know that your crowd wasn't going to be there for that other team affects you. Because you know, oh, I got this dunk, I'm gonna get the crowd involved, boom, and there's nothing. Or I just crossed them, hit a three, nothing. You got your, teammates rooting on you on, but it's like
That's
it's
where you
all
really got to depend on your teammates.
yeah. So I feel like that was a huge thing to where that affected the older teams, certain teams that rely on, like the Nuggets, they rely on home court advantage because they got the whole
Mile high
advantage.
city thing.
That whole thing, that's a whole other thing. But then you got the Warriors. They weren't in it, but like you got the Warriors who have one of the craziest home courts, period. And like for them not to have that going in was not a hindrance, but like it's something that added or took away from certain teams. So like that was an interesting thing. And like when you start looking at the travel overall, like you talked about before, it's AU vibe to where I remember Shaq kind of complaining about it, but like he was basically being like, man, y'all being punks about this and everything. Like it's not that bad for y'all because you don't have to get done playing at 10, 11 o'clock, get on a plane, fly 4 or 5 hours to the location. You get there at 3 o'clock in the morning, got to turn around and play again at night. I agree. But at the same time, like you said before, I think Chris Paul said it where he was like, after the game's done, you used to taking that player hat off and putting dad on, putting boyfriend or husband on, and you shifting gears, like you're able to get out of it. As soon as you get done, no matter what happened with the game, you got to go home and be daddy, and you need that. But now in the bubble, you got to be, I'm Chris Paul, point guard, 24/7. You're
Right.
not allowed to have that break. And it's like, going back to Paul George, like that affected his mental too, to where it's like, you had a crappy game. All you seen over social media, you got seen it. All you seen is over social media. All you seeing on TV with ESPN and stuff. On top of it, the dude that just dropped 30 on me, I gotta see him again at lunch. Breakfast,
Right. I'm
lunch,
gonna
and
see
dinner.
him later.
There's no escaping. So Luke up in
You
here
gotta
busting
send in
my
there.
head. I gotta see you all day. I gotta see you all this night, all the next day, and play you again the day after that. That's tough, man. Like that's
Man, that
tough.
would have been tough for me as a player. Because let me tell you, when I was when I was in JUCO at Bevel State, and we used to have a lot of Saturday games, and so when we played a Saturday game on the road and we would lose. So my freshman year, we lost like 8 games in a row, and so we had lost our point guard. He got hurt, and we had some other guys being eligible due to grades and stuff like that. So we was kind of lacking in some areas. So we go on like an 8-9 game skid with just straight losing. And the thing about it was, this made it worse. The losing weren't blowouts. Like we never got blew out, but like maybe once or twice. But they was all like 7, 8, 6, 5, 3. A lot. Well, we lost by 1 point. I want to say coach told me we lost by 1.6 times in the whole season. And man, that 8-game losing streak, we used to play a Saturday game on the road, lose, come back on the bus, pull up to the school. I used to tell the guys, I say, my old boy Chris, I love him to this day. I used to look at Chris and go, all right, y'all boys, don't nobody talk to me till Monday. And Chris and everybody, and they used to laugh every time I said it, because I said it regularly. Like when we lost on the road, all right, y'all, don't nobody talk to me till Monday. And Chris, one day my teammate Chris said, y'all be laughing. Nelson be dead serious when he say that. I looked at him and said, I'm glad you know. Because I need to leave this alone for a minute, especially when things ain't going right. So I gotta relate to Paul George on that. Like, dang, I have a bad game. I gotta go home and sit in it. Like, and then I can't even imagine being like a Paul George where I gotta see it on social media and stuff like that. I can't even distract myself with nothing else. I gotta go home and be mad and be sad about what I just did. So, and it ain't don't nobody talk to me till Monday, because guess what? We got lunch tomorrow at whatever time. I'm gonna see all of y'all again. Like, yeah, I meant that. Like, hey, don't nobody talk to me till Monday. Like, I need to. We done lost. I feel like I did everything, especially if I played good and we lost.
Oh, that's tough.
So now I feel like I did everything I can do and we still losing. All right, bro. I need to not look at y'all for a little while.
Exactly, man. Like, that's tough, man. When it's like you've literally done everything you can. Like, it's different. Like, blowouts hurt, but it's just it's more of a pride type thing. You know what I mean? Like, dang, what you got our butts kicked, bro? Like,
and a lot of times when you get blew out, it's like, okay, we get blew out. Either that team was better than us, or we just didn't play our best game. Like, we ain't come to play, and they did. But when you lose by 3 consistently, when you lose by 3, 4, 1, 3, 5, 8, now it's like, man, what are we doing? Like, why can we not get over the hump of winning these games, these close games? We can't close nobody out. We had one game where we was up by, I want to say we was up 8 with like 50-something seconds left, and we lost that game. We went to overtime and lost. I was like, boy, that was the day. Well, I almost had to put in my transfer papers off that one. I was like, no, bro. Ain't no way we just lost. So I cannot imagine being Paul George and some stuff like that happen, especially like when they got their 3-1 comeback, when the Nuggets got the 3-1 comeback, and then they forced the game 7. The day they forced the game 7 would have been the day I would have looked at my team like, I need y'all to, I can't talk to y'all for a couple of days. Until the next time we play, don't nobody talk to me. Like, for real, I cannot imagine being on that platform like that. Like, I would probably be that guy to like go to practice mad. Like, dang, I'm sick of being here. So I can kind of imagine.
And then think about it too. Like, you got in there around June, July, August. So most of the team was in there about 2 months. You're literally trapped 2 months in this small little circle of places. Hotel room, practice gym. So you're going around the same little circle or triangle, square, whatever, of the exact same things, the exact same people, doing the exact same stuff over and over and over. Mentally, that's drawing crazy. Like, like people try to make it seem like, oh, you got this fancy hotel and everything. What are you complaining about?
You ain't don't matter if you can't leave.
You can't leave. It's like doing the same thing over and over is cool for a short amount of time. Just like everybody in quarantine. It was cool for a minute to be in the house. Like, okay, catch up on this, that, watch a couple shows.
Yeah, people was catching new Netflix shows. I saw that so much. Netflix suggestions, Hulu suggestions.
Disney Plus. Going on. So you got the same stuff. It's cool for maybe a couple weeks. But after a while, I was like, all right, I done watched everything I can watch. I went through YouTube. I went through Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus. I think Amazon Prime was out at the time. Like, I done went through all this stuff. I done cleaned my room 15 times. I cleaned the same bed 6 times in one day. What more can I do? I'm tired of my mom. She getting on my nerves. My girlfriend blowing me up, talking about X, Y, this, that, and the third.
Facts.
Baby mama, like it's just so much drama going on. It's like I got to sit in it. So it's like
No escapes.
no escape. So like that's a whole nother level that a lot of people didn't even think about. So it's like people try to clown people like you're professional and this, that, and the third, but it's like if you're gonna be honest, man, like I'm a professional, but at the same time you're a professional at what you do. So
Right.
imagine you go to work and it's like I got to sit in this cubicle, I got to go back to my car, and I can't really go anywhere for real, for real. I go in the office, go in the break room, somewhere else, the lounge or whatever, and go back to work. Okay, I'm done with work. All right, let me go sit back in the lounge again and figure out something else to do. You be going crazy after 1 week. And it's
For
like just
real.
because I'm on a professional platform, I should handle it better. Nah, like they humans at the end of the day.
And then the thing about them is, like we said, they are on a huge platform, so they do bad. The world knows they did bad, and
Yep.
now they on social media, they trending. People adding them, blowing them up. It's like
Pandemic P.
Pandemic B. Man, can you imagine being called Pandemic B? Like,
Oh,
bro, I can do it, bro. If the world like saw me for that, bro, and now he can't even get away from that. Like that's been months ago. It don't matter what he do. It don't matter how many 30-point games, 40-point games. It don't matter the Clippers no one in the West, nothing.
no.
No matter what he do until the next playoff come around and he does something, he gonna be Pandemic P.
Yep.
So he gotta live with that for one bad year. He gotta live with that all because of the bubble. The bubble probably the worst thing ever happened to Paul George. I ain't seen Paul George on a commercial since the bubble. Remember, used to have commercials, he used to have shoes. It was like the endorsement shut them down. They dropped them by the bubble. It was like, look, man, the Pandemic P thing hurting your brand. We all know.
I ain't think about that.
But when the last time you seen Paul George in a Gatorade commercial or something?
I ain't seen nothing from him, bro. Like
Nothing. Bro
nothing.
been silent.
I don't think his shoes had a real release for real, for real. Like I think
Oh, bro, I ain't seen no new Paul Georges. I believe people were dropping him on the low. Like, dang, you next playoffs, you do something, we'll come out with the PG fives, but Pandemic P trending right now, man. We can't do nothing with you.
I
We
remember
can't
he
drop
had.
pandemic shoes.
Oh, that's funny. Pandemic shoes. That's hilarious.
We can't drop that,
We can't
man.
market that,
We
bro.
need you to
Like,
average 30 in the next playoffs.
oh, I think his shoe had a run for like a week. I think that was it, man. Maybe 2 weeks, but that's funny, man. But oh man, but like the mental state for real, like the players was like a huge thing for him, man. So with all that said, the end result of that was Los Angeles Lakers winning the chip over, that COVID situation, man. So another thing you got to talk about with that too was the whole Kobe deal for that. So with all that being said, do you personally feel like there's an asterisk on the 2020 championship?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. No, I definitely don't think there's an asterisk on it. And I asked people this on social media. I said, do y'all think? I asked the same question. Do you think they'll have an asterisk on this? Does it mean less to you, the way they won? And well, my answer personally is no. Like, I think at the end of the day, yes, it was hard mentally to play or to be there, but I am the type of person that I feel like once you get between the lines, everything else, it just falls away. Like, this is what's happening. I don't care what's going on in the world, the politics, the social issues, anything. I was like, I had to play games. I had to worry about other things, worry about other people, folks in the hospital, people died recently, people sick, people, things like that. We all got issues that we got to play through.
Yeah.
So I don't worry about that when we playing. You got to play. And second, I feel like the bubble championship was somewhat a little more difficult than other championships in their own ways, not only just because of the mental aspect of things, because like we said earlier, we was talking about in the real playoffs, you got the pressure of fans and like the intensity and loud arenas and stuff like that. But in the bubble, you ain't got that. So now
Yeah.
some players are going crazy. So you might be the guy guarding a Jamal Murray or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Somebody that's like one of the younger players that's going off for 30 and 40 and 50 every night for some reason. Danny Green that plays for the Lakers. And Danny Green being like a two-way player, pretty good defender, he guarding more of the better guards.
Mm-hmm.
He probably already thinking about guarding Jamal Murray. And so, Jamal Murray respectable, but he ain't an all-star. He a respected player, though, respected scorer. But then you got to watch this man film and realize, like, he just scored 40 the last 3 games and wheeled his team to a 3-1 comeback over the Clippers. And they got Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
So they 2 of the best defenders in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at it that way, is it more difficult now? Because it's like, man, these players going crazy. It's like, what can I do that Kawhi Leonard wasn't doing? So I think in a way it became a little difficult in its own way. So I don't take nothing away from it. The Lakers are the champions, and they the champs today, the champs no more. And so, but my question to you is, do you feel like the Miami Heat making it to the finals was a fluke?
Ooh, that's
Or
a
do you
good
think
question.
they really like deserve to be there?
That's a real good question. That's a good question, man. I would have to say no, because like overall at the end of the day, just like you said for the Lakers, like my thing is you have to show up and you have to play against who you have to play against, no matter what. And so the most disrespectful thing you could do is say, I'm guaranteed this win, so I'm not going to play. Oh, you're nothing but the 4th seed, 5th seed. I'm the 1st seed. I'm not going to play you up to your quote unquote potential. I'm playing you as I'm the 1st seed or the 4th seed. Right. Just like we talked about, a lot of these usual factors that we have in the game, they're thrown out the window. So seeding almost is irrelevant at this point, because the home court advantage of travel and stuff is a whole different vibe now. And so by the Heat doing their job and playing who they had to play, I can't fault them for that. Now, granted, were they the most talented team or the best team on paper to come out the East? Of course not. You had at least 3 other teams just off of rankings. They were the 4th seed, right?
Right.
So you had at least 3 other teams ranked ahead of them. And then you had maybe another team that's probably more talented than them. Like we said earlier, the playoffs come down to matchups. So by them having the best matchup or taking advantage of their matchup, they got there, they did what they were supposed to do. You know what I mean? So I can't fault them and put an asterisk on that, because the Celtics failed. That's my team, so that hurts. But the Celtics failed, Philly failed, the Bucks failed. That's your boy team. You know what I mean? So it's like, you can't fault them for being the ones that were able to get through the whole situation. Just like you can't fault the Lakers for being the one to show up when it matters most. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's a tough thing to kind of balance between, but it's like, that'd be disrespectful for me to say there's an asterisk on that on the Heat side because they showed up when other teams didn't. Like, that's disrespectful to say. Like, you can't say that. So I couldn't sit here and feel comfortable by saying there's an asterisk on that. But,
yeah, I kind of feel the same way. But yeah, I can't put an asterisk on the Miami Heat making it either. I feel like that's kind of messed up. That's unfair for us to be like, oh, the Lakers, deserve to be champions, and then on the other side be like, oh, Miami, that's just a fluke.
yeah,
That's totally unfair.
yeah.
And so, I hate when people take the Skip Bayless approach and be like, well, LeBron avoided all the best competition. He didn't have to play the Clippers. He didn't have to play Kevin Durant. He didn't have to play Giannis Antetokounmpo. He didn't have to play, like, that's the Skip Bayless approach.
Yeah.
And so, but that's completely undermining the rest of the teams in the league. Like,
yep.
And to say, like, somebody, like, saying he didn't have to play the Clippers, The Nuggets beat the Clippers. There was nothing that the Clippers did or that the Nuggets did to cheat the Clippers.
Yeah,
They beat them 3
yep,
games straight,
yep,
down 3-1,
yep,
won 3 games.
yep,
So you can't be like, oh, he ain't had to play against Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard ain't had to play against him, evidently.
yep.
That's how I see it. So I can't take nothing away from either team. I feel like they both deserve to be there. Now this year we might make to the finals. It ain't looking too good for them.
Yeah,
But there's been plenty of teams to make it to the finals once and then not make it again. So that's yet to be determined. But I can't take nothing away from either team at all.
yeah. I like that because like if you take away something from one side, you can't praise the Lakers and condemn the Heat, or you can't
Right.
praise the Heat and condemn the Lakers. Like we were saying, like you have to play who's in front of you. So now would have been an asterisk if LeBron got his head buzzed by the Nuggets, then would have been an asterisk then. Like you know what I mean? And then every single year we can play the if the if game. If uh uh Kyrie and Kevin Love didn't get hurt, do they win that championship? If Draymond don't get suspended, do they win that championship? If KD never got hurt, do the Raptors win? If Clay never got hurt, do the Raptors win? We can play
There's
that
a lot
game.
of what else in league history.
You can play that every single year with every single team. Every single year. I don't care. Even the Kobe and Shaq Lakers. If this shot doesn't bounce in this way, no matter how lucky it is, do they win? You can say about the Raptors when Kawhi Leonard shot. That ball
If it
bounced
don't bounce in against Philly,
4 times off the rim, bro. That's a fluke shot. Everyone, honestly, like, is it skilled? Yes, but it's fluke at the same time. And so you can't sit here and just take it as, you know, if the Lakers would have played, the Clippers would have been different. No, you have to do what you have to do against who you're doing it against. So it's like you
exactly.
can play that if game every single year, just because it's so many more ifs this year. You gonna take that away? Like, nah, every single you got ifs. So I feel like that would be disrespectful on all accounts to sit here and be like, well, the Lakers got to play the Heat. They had to play the Nuggets. Then da da da. Like, nah, like you got to play who's in front of you. And so by them playing who played in front of them did the job, they won. Like, can't take that away from them. So uh, even with all the changes that you had within the bubble, I can't see you taking away their shine or like what they accomplished. That's a tough thing for me to accept. So I think the
Same.
NBA bubble was a overall success, man. I think that the champions, salute to the Lakers, they did what they had to do. So I gotta pay the respect, man. So anything else on that?
No, that's it for me. I think it was pretty much a success too. You think they're gonna go back to the bubble for the finals this year? I mean, for the playoffs this year, or you think they'll just try to let the teams travel like they've been traveling?
Um, I think they will. I think they'll do a bubble, but I think it'll be a little different. I
Different
think
out.
it'll be Eastern and Western Conference bubbles rather than
That'd
just
be
the
kind of
bubble in
smart.
general. Yeah, I kind of wanted that anyway, to where um, there's a whole other talk we can have one day, but like changing the whole playoff format as far as the travel and everything, like taking away the excuses of the rankings and seedings and stuff, and just have like when you change the rankings and stuff, like how people wanted to blend the Eastern Western Conference, just make it. I think they said 1 through 16, just East and West.
No, like there'll be no East and West, just the top 16 teams.
Yeah. So it's like
Mhm.
I don't agree with all of that, but I think overall there are certain things you can do. And I think that like travel is one of the issues when they said that. Like you don't want to have the number 1 seed Portland Trailblazers playing number 16 seed Miami Heat. Like you literally going cross country trying to play these two teams.
That's
That's a
true.
huge travel thing. But to take away that, have a bubble type feel, and overall that negate some things. And then revenue wise, you can split that 50-50. I don't know how you take care of that. I know money's gonna play a huge role in that, but I feel like they should go to some type of bubble format because it was such a successful thing. And with COVID and everything going, that's a very easy escape to have. I know they've
Right.
been doing very well with not having that many COVID positive testing going on. I just saw that they had like 2 3-4 players that's positive out of the 400 something players, which is a very successful rate. But you can go back to having 0 if you go back to the bubble, So we'll see, man. But I think that they should go back to the bubble to some extent. But seeing how successful is going, I don't think they will. Just seeing off that, but we'll see, man. I kind of hope they do. Like we just talked about, it was a fun experience to see, and seeing players get off. Now imagine Devin Booker getting off now with Chris Paul.
So
And I
they
think
ain't they third in the West right now or fourth?
I know they're top half. I think they're number 4 now.
I want to say they fourth. Cause no, the Lakers third right now, and Utah first, and
Clippers.
no, the Clippers like fifth. The Clippers lower. So I think it might be Utah, Phoenix, and then the Lakers. Or like Lakers and then the Phoenix. So they top four. I know for sure. So yeah, they'll definitely be fun to see.
And then you got the Hawks probably end up being in the playoffs this year.
You get to see Trey.
Get to see Trey. You get to see Steph going. Like Steph been going stupid. Like
Steph in the bubble, boy. I'm mad, bro. Think about the threes and John Damian Lillard here in the bubble. Steph, man, I hope the Warriors and the Trailblazers got the series, man. Oh my God, that'd be so fun to watch.
I love to see
Steph versus Dame 7-game series. I don't even know who will win right now for real with their teams, but I just like to see them. You say Trailblazers?
Yeah, I think so.
It'd be tough. If CJ McCollum healthy, then maybe so.
But Dame been going off without him.
I know. Off Dame. On Dame back.
So it's like give them at full strength. I don't know, man. But yeah, I think they will.
I think I might get them the nod if CJ play. I think I might give the Trailblazers the nod. Probably six games. But still, that should be fun to watch. I hope it happens.
Yeah, I hope so too, man. But so that's gonna wrap up the NBA bubble part. Anything else you wanna touch on with that?
We good.
All right, so like you just heard, that's a wrap for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2 coming up very soon. We talk about the college half of it, and we get a little more personal with the pandemic and how it affected us. So stay tuned. Rest of the episode dropping later. Thank you.